pathetic fool! I've come for your souls! I mean, no, I'm just kidding. It's Day of the Dead. I just didn't have any other.
I don't think that's gonna work as a sugar skull.
It's a skull. Hey guys, so we just got back from Coco. There really wasn't any new releases that we could get at. I know there was I, Tonya.
Yeah,
it's like limited release. Shape of Water we couldn't find in our city, so we had to review one that came out November 22nd. So it's been a while, 2 weeks. So I'm really interested in how many views this gets. Doesn't matter if it gets 100 views, that's fine. I just want to let you know about Coco, which is the film we saw, and well, we have a Mexican here.
Okay, well, let me.
Okay.
Right. Well, I'm kind of like what you would call a coconut.
Well, what is a coconut? I don't understand.
Basically, I'm brown on the outside
and white on the inside.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never celebrated.
Okay, so you never celebrated Day of Dead?
No.
Okay, and I'm Hispanic. You know, I got Puerto Rican heritage, and then we have the white guy. So this is good because
this is new to all of us.
No, it's good because you know we're gonna get different perspectives. It sucks because Joe, I thought you'd have more perspectives.
I did not celebrate that, but there's some things that actually.
Joe wasn't born in Mexico or anything. He just has Mexican heritage, and I guess the Americanized Mexicans. Some of them celebrate Day of Dead, some of them don't, and your family never celebrated Day of Dead? Okay. Nope. Well, all I know is that Day of the Dead has never been one of my really big fans. You know, I've never been a fan of it. I don't really understand it, don't get it. I do love the sugar skulls, and I do love the candy sometimes.
You just like the candy.
I like candy, all right? But other than that, I just, you know, I'm like, this is stupid. And I don't want to shit on anybody else's culture, right? Because it's, you know, part of my culture, because we have some family that comes from there. But I didn't think I would end up liking it. You know, we went to Coco as to tick a box and as a Pixar film, right? And I've seen Cujo and the Two Strings, which has you know, very life and death in this culture, and you know, the cycle of life with swans, and somebody could think that's stupid, you know. So you know, it's all perspective. And so I came in kind of with a negative attitude, and I held that for maybe the first, you know, half of the film. But boy, does this thing, you know, it's got some good storytelling. And I think by the end, I was like, okay. And I had a newfound appreciation for other people's culture and other people's, you know, heritage and the way they look at things and the cycle of life and death and things like that. And Pixar did it again, for me at least. I thought by the end, I was getting emotions. It was getting emotions out of me, and I was like, oh shit, okay. So I just wanted to say that, you know, if you're looking for a film and you're like us where there's stuff in limited release and you're looking for one to go out and see, Coco is definitely one that'll do you right. What do you think, Joe?
I really enjoyed this film, and it actually brought some points that kind of hit with me. As like one example I want to point out. The abuelita was pretty spot on to my abuelita.
Yeah!
She had her secret weapon, the chancla, which she utilizes this pretty well. Yeah. And I would always get the chancla whenever I would misbehave.
Is that a Mexican family thing?
It is.
Yeah, my family never hit me with this shoe.
My mom would get mad at me. She's like, "Try me la chancla."
Oh,
like, bring the sandal because you're about to get an ass whooping. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to. I'm sorry. I'll behave.
You didn't get that at all?
No.
So my grandmother is Peruvian. She was born in Peru. She spoke Spanish, and she lived in the house with us growing up. And even she just had the chocolate, and she could throw that thing around corners. I'd be running away, and the thing would like come corners like it was great.
Ninja fucking star.
It's an extension of their arm.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, I agree with that 100%, Joe. I you know, even though we're Puerto Rican, I felt a lot of the mannerisms amongst a lot of Hispanics are kind of similar.
Yeah.
The Spanglish, you know, is something that resonates even with me. I think this film did an amazing job with all of the, what do you call them? The Spanglish and the idiosyncrasies of you know, the culture, like, you know, throwing in, just, you know, the little mannerisms that come with, you know, Hispanics or Mexicans, and it really felt authentic in that way. You know, we saw scenes of delicious food, and I was like, oh man, I need to go out and eat some food. And so they got all that right. And then, so basically the film should have really been called, in my opinion, Miguel. Well, it's pretty much the first 2/3 of it is the film could be called Miguel, but they do tie it together very nicely to where you understand why it's called Coco, and you'll figure that out on your own. But yeah. So what did you think about the this magical world as our Caucasian?
I think I'm like more like growing up in Southern California with a Spanish-speaking grandmother in the house. I think I'm more Latin than both of you.
Probably.
But we never celebrated any Day of the Dead. There was a lot of like white people on the block that did in a way that was like offensive, and so this didn't feel that way. And I mean, it was beautiful. You could tell, like they made sure that everyone, like all the cast, all the voice actors were from Latin America, the writers, and it felt that way. It felt it wasn't from the perspective of, you know, a white guy looking in. And
very authentic. Very all the actors just really nail their roles. Not a single person brings the film down. There wasn't really a weakness in any character in my eyes. At first I thought, you know, maybe they could, this stray dog, Dante, kind of, you know, is kind of injected in there to sort of check a box that a lot of the other Pixar films have, but he serves a purpose in there as well. He does a serviceable job. But Miguel is, in my opinion, the standout star here for being a younger guy. Miguel's played by Anthony Gonzalez, and he's real good. Real good. What do you think of Miguel, Joe? Even though I thought Miguel looked exactly like OtherJoe when he was a little kid. I'm serious. He does look like him, so I couldn't separate that. I was like, oh, it's little Joe Lopez.
And chubby cheeks.
Round face and chubby cheeks. That's what did it. And the black hair, Joe. And so, yeah. So I was looking at, oh, look at that. There's OtherJoe. And every time he does something, I look away and just,
I actually think he did a great job. He acted like a kid. He talked like a kid. And everything was believable.
How old is he? Is the actor a kid? Is it a child actor? Or is
it's a younger guy. I don't know exactly how old he is. But yeah, so I mean, obviously in a film like this about the Day of the Dead, which celebrates your ancestors, family ties into the theme very much so. And I think it's appropriate for you to go out and watch it in December around the holidays when you might, you know, have family either visiting or family separated. It's a good film to go out and see during the holidays. So if you haven't seen Coco yet, in my opinion, go out and see it. Now, you know, it does have a few problems. We're trying not to give away any spoilers, but I feel like there is a little bit of forced conflict, at least initially with his family. You know, no music! I've never seen that before. Like, you know, his family is trying to suppress music in his life and thinks it's a curse, but to the extent...
Same thing with you. And your mom won't let you touch any Ouija boards or anything. The Diablo.
No, no, that's magic cards. Well, and Ouija boards too. Yeah. No, so yeah. No, I'm not saying.
Don't bring it in the house.
Yeah, but this is music, Joe. There's a huge difference.
Is there?
Yes, because you know, obviously, my mom is religious and likes music and hates other certain kinds of music. Yeah, she hates heavy metal, but she knows there's good kind of music too. This family's like, no fucking music at all. Don't sing. Don't fucking play a guitar.
Don't tap your foot.
Don't tap your foot. Don't even go to the fucking area of the city that has music playing. And I'm like, all right, this is a little much, little forced in order to get that conflict and sort of the realization in the final conflict or climax rather. And the film has some good twists. You know, if you've seen, if you've seen some Pixar films, you're probably going to see a lot of this stuff coming. But I felt, you know, I felt it was done well enough to where, you know, it didn't feel cheap to me or it didn't feel out of place. It was earned and they had some good songs. Now, I gotta admit, Joe, I'm not a big fan of this style of music. You know, the sort of mariachi. I mean, there's some good fucking mariachi songs.
Yeah.
You love mariachi stuff? Yes. Okay. So you'll have to tell me, what did you think of the music?
I actually enjoyed the music, and there was like.
Which one was your favorite?
Poco Loco.
Oh yeah, Poco Loco was good.
Poco Loco was pretty good.
Poco Loco was good. I gotta admit that one. And for me, the two ones were Poco Loco and Remember Me. Yep. And just Remember Me, obviously, that's just such a cheap move because it's like Remember Me. So you know how they're gonna pull at your heartstrings with Remember Me. So what did you think of the music in the film? Are you like me that maybe not your genre?
No, I mean it's not my favorite. It's not on the radio, but I mean I appreciate it. I thought it was good. I thought that the closing song felt a little weaker than everything else. Like, it had been getting better and better and better.
Yeah,
and the closing song... Yeah, I mean, it's a really touching...
Wait, which closing song? The one where he's wearing a mariachi suit? Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
it wasn't a bad song at all.
It was an average song to end it out on, right?
But they had such a strong note in the scene prior where you're like, oh, man, if it ended right there, like... Like there were a lot of people around us were crying. Like it was a very touching movie.
Yeah, there was audience members, especially behind us and to the left. You were holding back tears, Joe? No, I was holding back tears. I'm gonna, Alex.
I have no tears.
No tears.
It was touching. Fuck this family.
It also has no soul.
Yeah. Okay, Alex, you have to tell me one movie that actually gave you tears. No movies?
I don't know if
some movies.
Cried in a movie.
No, not cried. Obviously.
I'm just like a single tear.
No, this movie was like this movie will get you emotional. Like it's.
But were your eyes watering?
Oh no.
What movie were your eyes watering? Just so we know baseline, Alex, eyes watering.
I think the first time I watched like The Land Before Time, when like Littlefoot's there with his mom.
Oh yeah, Land Before Time is
definitely cried. I mean,
because you're younger. You were younger.
I was this big.
Yeah. So all right, well, it's got some great emotional moments in it. I'm not a real big fan of the Day of the Dead or sort of the images within the culture, the skeletons. I think that, you know, there are kind of some freaky parts. Well, no, not really. I mean, this movie could have gotten a lot more freaky. It really didn't. The only thing the most freaky thing that happens is eyeballs pop down into a guy's throat and he's like holding his eyeballs with his mouth. But that's about it. And it's done in a goofy way, so I don't think it's going to scare children. I think children these days are too coddled anyway. So I think that, you know, although I may not like the designs aren't particularly for me, I think that this is still a film that kids can enjoy because a lot of the characters kind of are goofy and they all have a little bit of a character to them. So it's a good film for the kids and the family, and one that I think that you should check out if you haven't checked out already and you're wondering what to go out and see before Star Wars hits, of course, next week. Which I'm super excited about that. So, let's go ahead and do some final verdicts. Let's start with Alex.
So this hit almost every box that I want from a Pixar film, where it's really touching.
It's not the best.
No, it's almost every box.
Okay, because I was about to say this ain't the best.
Almost everyone. Like it was gorgeous. The characters were really good. There was no characters that I hated, and there's a lot of times where I just really don't like characters. And then even though this is it's a kids movie, there was a lot of really adult jokes that are gonna fly over the head of the little kids. Yeah. And that was great. We talked about it being really touching, but the climax wasn't as good as in other Pixar movies, and so there wasn't a lot of motivation. You never feared for any of the characters, and so I think this is a 8 out of 10. This is a really good film, and I think kids will absolutely love it. And I don't think this is this doesn't come close to Toy Story or any
8 out of 10. Are you doing that to soften your stance?
No, because
people give you shit.
No, because you have to you're ranking this in to other Pixar movies, right? Yeah. Am I gonna watch this or Terminator 2? I'm gonna watch Terminator 2 every single time. But if it's which Pixar movie do you want to see? There's some ones that
there's some good ones and bad ones. Is Good Dinosaur Pixar? Oh, that's I don't know. That's not a good one. Anyways, Joe, what
basically, I'm actually going to piggyback on Alex. I really liked his points as well. This movie was good, but I really liked Toy Story way better. That was a better story. This one is an 8 out of 10 for me as well. And speaking about Toy Story, there's a little, I don't know if you've noticed it or not. I guess when they show the front of their store, a truck drives by It's the Planet Express.
Planet Express, the
Oh,
rocket, yeah.
I missed
It's
it.
in every single
I thought
movie.
you were going to talk about the little spirit animals that were toys at the beginning.
No.
But then in this world, when they visit all these skeletons, they turn into spirit animals. So they figure that in. And, you know, the colors are outrageous and it looks tacky to me, you know, from the outside, not my culture. But I did, by the end, again, appreciate it more and say, oh, that's kind of a cool character. And if I watched it again, then I'd probably be more on board. But yeah, I don't think that this is among the best Pixar's top tiers. It's certainly not the worst. It's just that I think the first and the second parts of the film, it's Miguel really pushing you forward, and oh, isn't his family precious? And this personally reminds me of my family in small ways, but it wasn't an interesting story because I didn't really buy the whole no fucking music and I want to no, you know, that kind of stuff, because honestly, we come right down to it. Hispanic families, they'll fucking support you. You know what I mean? You know, so if your love is to go and you make a strong argument in the house that I'm going to go and do this and this is what I want to do, more than likely that family is going to support you, which is the message of the film by the end, but at the beginning it's not. There's a reason for that, and you'll see it in the end, some little conflict that they resolve by the end. So I think that for me, I'm surprised though, but when I thought Alex was going to be at my level, I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Mainly because it didn't kind of resonate with me a few times. What really worked is that third act. That third act, everything. There you get the twist, you get the relationship with the abuelita and the great-grandmother and great-grandfather. There's just so much good stuff. And then the scope of the Day of the Dead world is huge in that part, and then it kind of wraps up real quick there. A little weak ending, kind of goes down, but it wraps up in a nice, neat way, and it's a feel-good film, and so that's where it was all loaded for me, and I was kind of wavering at the beginning, so that's why it's a 7 out of 10, yeah, but I think that, you know, even if you don't like the Day of the Dead, like me, where you kind of hate it, you think it's dumb or something, you know, or you're like, oh, this film is for Hispanics or Mexicans. I'm a white guy. I don't need to go see this crap or something like that. Don't be like that. Don't be, yeah, I'm telling you, don't be racist or bigoted or like, oh, that's not my culture, so I don't want to see it. I'm telling you, it's super fascinating, even from the angle of me where I wanted to dismiss it, but then I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good by the end. So check it out if you haven't already. Coco, it's a great Pixar film, and man, it seems like they can do no wrong. They literally take anything, something like that I don't identify with and I don't particularly like, and yet, boom, knock it out of the park and make me emotional. So that's good stuff, all right? I can't wait to see what Pixar does next. And yeah, all right, guys. Well, we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.